Okay, let's take a look at some more things. Okay, so these are all algebraically again. This one doesn't involve anything other than plugging the number in. So you can see my solution. I'm writing the original information with the limit notation, and then I am plugging the number in without the limit notation. There's the answer. Same thing here. This one involves some factoring and canceling, just like before. Make sure you know when to write the limit notation and when to stop writing the limit notation. Very important. Alrighty, number C here, same thing. You can see the answer there. I did do these in Excel, but remember, this work in Excel is just to help you. It is not the work that is part of the grade. The algebraically is the writing. So make sure you know what to write, and then use Excel just to reinforce your answer so that you know your algebra is correct. All right, let's take a look at the next set of exercises. These are all the limits numerically. So we're going to look at Excel. Excel is part of the process, and what you have to write is part of the process as well. Alrighty, so for the first one, we can see that the limit on the left and the right are not the same. So we have a special way we have to write that does not exist, and you can see it right there. Same thing I did on the example worksheets. Alright, number B. Now, even if you can do algebra, do not do the algebra. If it says limits numerically, type it in Excel, table of values, write the answer out like you see I've done here. So if you're doing algebra for a limit numerically, you are telling me you don't know what you're doing. If it says limits algebraically, then write all that algebra stuff down. Limits numerically, you go straight to Excel, type the table in, and then write your conclusion out on paper. Like that. Ooh, there's a typo right there that I am not going to fix. Alright, number 3 is piecewise. Remember, whether or not the limit exists, when you do a piecewise function, you have to write things out the same way. You do the left limit, the right limit, and then that final answer. And it doesn't matter whether it's algebra or it's in Excel with numerically, like that. Alright, number D is another does not exist. So be careful, sometimes the piecewise, the function changes, just like on the earlier example. Sometimes, well, it does change all the time. Never mind. There is it in Excel right there. Very different answers. Again, you want to go far enough with those extra decimals so you get an idea of what that number is. So you don't want to do, too many. I just do 5 or 6 of the 0.9s or the 0.0s that you see there. Just enough to get a feel for that progression you're going through there. All right, next one is a limit at infinity, positive infinity. And as it says, infinities are one-sided. So you just do your x values as they approach that positive or negative infinity, and then see what that output is. And then the last one has an exponential, just for the heck of it. Now, even though you can plug the number in and do it manually, algebraically or whatever, you want to do the table of values and then just write what is required for numerically. Doing more is just going to say you don't understand what this distinction is versus algebraically. So it's very important that when you do the algebra, you've got to write the appropriate algebra down. Sometimes there's not a whole lot, like part A. Sometimes there's several things, like part B or C. But when you're doing the limits numerically, it's all about the table in Excel, and then just write that final thing. Don't write the algebra, don't factor, don't cancel, etc., etc. And that's the end of this one. There were more examples, and this is a shorter video.